Now let's figure out how much the single person making $50,000 a year would pay in state income taxes, assuming that they're in a state that has income taxes. And this right here are the current tax brackets for my state. And every state will have different income tax brackets, and they're likely to change year after year. But the important thing to take away is just how all of this is calculated. So at the state level, you still, or at least the state I'm in, there is a standard deduction. It's $3,769 for a single filer, for a single person. And instead of having a personal exemption, which reduces your taxable income, which is what we saw at the federal level, they have a tax credit, a personal tax credit, which is essentially just a credit on your taxes. So this doesn't reduce your taxable income. This can actually be used against the actual taxes that you owe. So first, let's think about what our taxable income is in my state. So I'm starting with $50,000. $50,000 is my gross income. And then I have a standard deduction in my state, of $3,769. $3,769 gets me to taxable income in my state of $46,231. Or $46,231. Now, if you look at these brackets, it looks like we are falling into this 8% bracket right over here. But just as we said in the federal example, that does not mean we pay 8% on all $46,231. It means we only pay the 8% on the increment above $37,005. For the rest of the brackets, we pay 1% on the first $7,000 or first $7,124, 2% on the increment up to $16,980, so on and so forth. So let's calculate what that is. So we are going to pay 1% on the first $7,124. Then to that, we're going to pay 2%. We're going to pay 2% on the increment up to $16,980. And that increment is $16,980 minus $7,124. And then we are going to pay 4%. We're going to pay 4% on the increment up to $26,657. And so that's that number minus $16,890. And then we are going to pay 6%. We are going to pay 6% on the increment up to $37,005. So it's $37,005 minus $26,657. And then we're in the home stretch here. We're going to pay 8% on the increment above